Imagine if almost every human ancestor on Earth suddenly disappeared nearly 1,000,000 years ago. One scientific study suggested an ancient population may have fallen to roughly 1,280 effective breeding individuals. But that number comes from genetic modeling. It does not mean exactly 1,280 humans were physically alive. The proposed bottleneck happened roughly 900,000 years ago, long before modern Homo sapiens appeared. Back then, our ancestors lived directly from nature, without cities, modern farming, medicine, or reliable technology. And Earth wasn't stable. Major climate changes repeatedly transformed the environments they depended on. Food became harder to find, water became scarcer, habitable areas could shrink dramatically. According to the model, these pressures may have contributed to an enormous population bottleneck. And remember, these weren't modern humans. They were much earlier members of our evolutionary lineage. So the question isn't whether modern humanity almost vanished, it's whether our lineage nearly did. For a tiny population, losing resources creates a dangerous chain reaction. Fewer survivors, fewer births, and less genetic diversity. Yet somehow, this vulnerable population survived long enough for its descendants to continue the human story. And here's where humans had an unusual advantage. We weren't physically impressive. We weren't the fastest. We weren't the strongest. We didn't have claws, giant teeth, or thick fur. But humans could cooperate. A group could accomplish what one individual never could. And cooperation allowed something even more powerful. Knowledge could be taught instead of disappearing. One generation discovered something. The next could improve it. Then another generation could improve it again. Tools became better, fire became useful, hunting became organized, shelters became more sophisticated. Over immense periods of time, these tiny advantages accumulated into something extraordinary: human civilization. But scientists still don't know exactly how extreme this ancient population crash really was. A later 2025 study using a different genetic approach found little evidence for such an extreme bottleneck. So the honest answer isn't that we know exactly how close our ancestors came to extinction. What we do know is that our ancient lineage survived and eventually produced Homo sapiens. And from that fragile beginning came a species capable of reshaping almost every environment on Earth.